Hello everyone, I'm reporting to you live from a morning commute where I have to get my kids to school, but I wanted to stop and talk to you about how you can use Inktober as a platform, a springboard for Surrealism. So here's my process of experimentation with various materials. So Surrealism is about the subconscious mind. So it's a self-portrait project, in my opinion, at least while starting out. So I went ahead and I took the time to find a reference of myself and do a rendering of myself. This is very small because I know I don't have very much time. This is a week-long sustained investigation project. So I am using my pencil kit. Remember your pencil kit. And then I am experimenting with mark making with ink to get ready for Inktober. So throwing in some markers, huzzah, and then reviewing like basic values with colors. I'm putting in some grays, and notice with the drawing process, we are constantly moving around, measuring placement and size of different objects and thinking in value and color shapes, not so much line. Shading helps us to block out those lights, mediums, and darks. I'm obviously layering, right, with different values and then going back in and adding those marks. The frequency of marks determines how dark a value is while working with ink. Now I went ahead and I did some research on Inktober and was very inspired by a feminist, surrealist artist. Sorry, I did research on surrealism. And I got the idea of drawing a bird cage, kind of representing the patriarchy. I did that super fast. Then now I'm just thinking about items that represent me. So I'm going ahead. You could see this is a very small drawing. Sketching my easel super fast. Using hatching, cross hatching, and all of those angles, right? Making sure I get the correct angles right with my graphite. Making adjustments. Why Inktober? It teaches you to make bold choices and draw fast, right? So again, this exercise is mini drawings. Can you combine several renderings into one piece? So I'm just going ahead and I'm blocking out the negative space. So it's easy for me to eventually combine all of these objects into some kind of a surrealistic world. So that editing process is easy. I always recommend blocking in that negative space so it's easy to combine objects. So again, we're using a variety of materials. Now I decided I didn't want to drop.
I'm finished.
You're finished. Okay, everyone say hi to Max. I didn't want to drop our charcoal experimentation, so I decided to drop some willow on top of my inking. Obviously not combining willow with putting alcohol markers on top of willow. That would ruin it. One thing you have to take the time to do today is to kind of render some kind of environment. So here I'm using a reference from a place that I would experience in my dreams. And a place that I would experience in my dreams most definitely is the lake where I grew up on. So here I'm doing a quick sketch. Is it perfect? No, right? But Inktober teaches you to draw and sketch with ink with urgency. Quick, dramatic lines, quick hatches. I have memories of my dad drawing like this when he would draw cars with his alcohol markers. And that, yeah, there you go. Now here's my next work session, right? So I went ahead and I started to bring all of my artwork into Procreate. First step is I brought in the environment, including my reference photos, so I could color match. And I'm realizing I'm making adjustments with value, which is one of the great revision benefits of digital art. And now I'm going ahead and I am blocking in all sorts of different shapes, values, repeating colors and blending to create a sense of unity and cohesiveness. Max, what do you think of this drawing that I'm talking about? Adding in the yellows, adding in movement. This is like so fun. Yeah.
What? Mommy, can we turn this picture around?
We're almost done. We're just talking about like how important it is to work in different grays into the process. Are you ready for school? Get dressed, Sophie. No, don't pause that, please. So right now I'm thinking ahead to creating emphasis and convergence. So I'm okay, don't touch it. So I'm asking myself if the clouds can create like a direction and a path for an eye. So I'm kind of thinking ahead with my background. Now the bird cage will be my focal point like it is in this one Surrealism painting on the left. You can see I'm using that research as inspiration. I'm erasing the negative space so the cage comes through. Sweetie, you got to get dressed.
But I'm tired.
It's time to go to school, and the kids are going to go ahead and go to school. At this point, I almost wanted to stop, right? But there's not enough
Mommy,
like strange. You should wear clothes. Strange visual juxtaposition, right? So we want to have displacement, which is like a trait with Surrealism. Go ahead, pick those clothes. So I decided to put my head in the bird cage, representing how sometimes the patriarchy makes me feel a little stuck. And I also want to draw my audience in with that. So I stuck my head in a bird cage. What do you think about that, Sophie? It's Surrealism, displacement, subconscious. It doesn't
look like your head.
It doesn't need to make sense. Also then, I randomly drew a cat yesterday in a professional development. And I thought, instead of geese on the lake in my childhood home, why not put a cat? So here I am erasing the negative space around the cat. And then I did some color matching. I'm making the cat kind of like the blue color, like the geese on the left. And I'm dropping in a kitty cat that is swimming in the lake, just like the geese, because it's our subconscious dreams and it doesn't make sense. This may also represent the truth that I've always wanted a cat, but my dad never bought me one. Now, instead of buoys,
It's okay. It's okay.
Instead of buoys, I decided to replace the buoys for displacement with Tapatio bottles. I think I'm going to call this piece, I Do Not Love Tapatio. So I went ahead and I dropped in the Tapatio bottles.
Bro, that's brilliant.
I know, and added some shadows and stuff. Now I'm moving around the page, making sure everything makes sense, and kind of winking at the audience, putting my easel in, kind of like saying, this is the hope. The easel will help me to get out of the patriarchy. And I put a picture of the painting on the easel, so kind of winking at the audience, repeating it on both sides to create visual balance. Didn't have enough visual weight. Darken the values, just because why not? And that's just about it, guys. I need to get these kids to school, right? So make sure you go ahead and you have fun using Inktober objects to create some surrealistic work that has to do with your sustained investigation. Let's have fun this week and get to school, huh, guys?